HYROX Chicago took place on the 5th of November 2022, and the Windy City saw the women's pro world record blown away. It saw a men's pro athlete breeze under 59 minutes, and hundreds more athletes huff and puff their way through the course, all doing themselves proud. I guess you could say they've all earned themselves a nice draft beer. So HYROX Chicago took place at the Renaissance Schaumburg Convention Center. The main story of the day was in the women's pro division, where Meg Jacobi won in a time of 101.56, breaking the world record set by Linda Meyer only 2 weeks before in Amsterdam by 27 seconds. Meg had raced in New York a few weeks prior to this. She'd got a 3-minute penalty on that day. It was her debut in the sport. She'd accidentally skipped a lap, which is very easily done. It was a 4-lap course. But she showed she was a pretty incredible athlete and that she was going to be in contention for the Elite 15 spots. The way she approached the race, the way she continued to race after her 3-minute penalty, made her one of my top picks for the World Championships this year. I was excited to see what she could do in Chicago, and she definitely didn't disappoint. I've actually got her booked in for an interview this week on our YouTube channel and our podcast, so keep an eye out for that when it comes. We can find out more about her training, her history, and her plans in the sport. A second in the women's pro was Vivian Tafuto, who got a time of 1:08.07. That's beating her previous best time by over 8 minutes. So well done, Vivian. And then third was Alyssa Hawley, who finished in a time of 1:10.02. In the men's pro, it was won by Dylan Scott in his signature khaki shorts. He was the 9th man to go under an hour this season when he set a PB, winning the race in a time of 58.38. That's actually the second quickest time that we've seen this year. Dylan finished 5th in the elite race at the World Championships in Las Vegas last year. This race in Chicago was 1 minute 25 seconds quicker than his previous best in HYROX. So he's certainly been working hard, as he always does, over the summer. And it certainly looks like he's in contention for the World Championship podium spots this year. I contacted Dylan after the race and asked him for his comments on how he thought the race went and what his plans are for the season, how he found the sleds and so on, and he sent over this.
So Chicago was my kind of opening race for the season, and I don't think I could have asked for a better way for the season to open up. Everything felt very smooth, in control. The effort felt good, and when I finished, I was like, all right, we still had a little bit in the bag. Of course, you think that, hey, you want to go out there and make sure that everything gets left. But, of course, when you're opening up the year, you're kind of like, all right, let's meter it out a bit. So that's what we did. Ran a very, I wouldn't say conservative, but I would say smart first half of the race. Started really dialing it up after the road, and everything from there went nice and smooth, wall balled well. Wasn't going to go unbroken. That was not going to happen, but it was very, very solid first ever for the year. As for the sleds, things felt pretty normal. The sled pull definitely felt normal. Nothing felt weird there. And the time reflected that. The sled push was a little faster than I've seen in the past, but it wasn't anything that I was like, wow, this feels significantly different. Felt heavy. So I got done with it and I was like, well, my calves feel like I just pushed a heavy sled. So, that felt pretty normal-ish, but the carpet was good and everything, so no issues with that. Felt like a regular heavy sled push for me. And outside of that, we'll try to race again on February 11th back in Chicago, and then try to make it over to Manchester for Worlds.
Second in the men's pro in Chicago was Colin Stifer. That was his debut in HYROX. He finished in a time of 1:01.47, which is very impressive on your debut. He comes from a CrossFit background. He told me he's hooked on HYROX and he's hunting down that top 15 elite ranking spot. So it'll be good to see what he can do on his next outing. And then third in the men's pro was Marcus Wallace, who finished in a time of 1:03.32. I think that was also a debut for Marcus. In the women's open, Maria Fesick won it in a time of 1:09.50. Second was Laurie Winkleman in a time of 1:10.37. And third was Laurie Tardif in a time of 1:12.04. In the men's open, it was won by Jimmy Nicholas in 1:08.24. Greg Vigiano was second in 1:09.22, and third was Patrick Joel in 1:09.26. The mixed doubles was won by Mark Howe and Lauren Rantala. They actually work for HYROX and they're the reigning mixed doubles world champions. They finished in a time of 58.44, so well done to them. The men's doubles was won by Jason Lobig and Brett Gornick in 55.33, a very impressive time there. And the women's doubles was won by Heather White and Kelly Sullivan in 1:02.51. If you did compete in Chicago, well done. You went out, you did a hard thing at the weekend, and that's something to be proud of. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed to our podcast and our YouTube channels. Please like, share this with your friends. Tell them about the sport of HYROX. We've got lots of articles over on roxlife.com as well, worth reading and also worth sharing with your friends. We'll do lots more race reviews, interviews with some of the sport's top athletes coming up, including that one that I mentioned with Meg Jacobi. But that's all for now. I will talk to you again soon. Take care.